All right, what's up, everybody? Will here from Flow Candy. Today, I'm finally breaking down Chamberlain coffee. This has sort of been on my list for a couple months now, and yeah, I'm excited to break this one down. If you're new to these breakdowns or you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link in the description where I give away all of this for free. So I'm going to go through um, the entire swipe file that I have. I even have a benchmarking file that I'm going to go through where I just sort of go through their frequency, their strategy, and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, let's jump into it. So, just off the cuff here, this is a business. I think it's doing around rumored to be doing around 30 million, I think, in revenue. And I was going to benchmark it against another brand we've studied, which is Black Rifle Coffee. But I just felt like they're just so different. I mean, yes, they both make coffee, but Black Rifle Coffee is, more of this like patriot community, while Chamberlain Coffee is more like Gen Z. I would describe it's built off the influencer Emma Chamberlain, who's had a lot of success in sort of the Gen Z market. And one of the things that I do think is interesting about this brand is that it started out. It is like very Gen Z focused, where you think about Gen Zs are known. Their behavior in this category is known for more like iced drinks. Um, Matcha is really big with Gen Z as well. When you compare it to like a Starbucks or like this more millennials, where I would say are more like into craft coffee, hot, almost like really the quality, the espresso, stuff like that. And then you get into like a Black Rifle Coffee, which is more about into that sort of like patriot sort of that sort of patriot side of the market. It's just interesting to see this one. This is like really one of the more like Gen Z focused brands I've really gotten able to break down. That's like scaled up this big, this fast. I mean, Emma is only 24 years old herself, so this is a good one. And when you look at their email marketing, it's actually pretty dialed in as well. I did a funnel breakdown on Black Rifle, but I don't think we did like an actual. I don't know if we did like an actual email breakdown, but Chamberlain Coffee might have them beat because I benchmarked them pretty high. So just some real quick things outside of the email. I mean, like I said, it's a $30 million brand. It's an omni-channel brand. They have, huge presence, retail presence, 10, 12,000 stores, I think something like that. Sprouts, Whole Foods, Costco, you name it, full retail distribution, pretty big org chart. They have a CEO in place. Apparently they have a physical coffee cafe or shop now in LA too. So this is serious business. And you can tell the CRM strategy is run like one too. So let's dive into it. So off the cuff, one thing that's like really interesting is like the traffic really isn't as high as I thought it would be. 272,000 visitors over a 3-month period. So you divide that by 3. Let's see, we're looking at, of course it doesn't do it right because I have a comma there. What are we looking? Under 100,000 visitors a month for sure. So that was something that I found interesting. When I hear, $30 million, big omni-channel presence, I'm breaking down a lot of these brands. They're doing, 500,000 visitors a month, 1 million visitors a month. You get into these like mega influencer Kardashian brands doing 10 million visitors a month. So, I was shocked it's a little bit low, but I think that again, like they have a pretty large Instagram, and then Emma herself has like 14 million followers on Instagram. So it's such an omni-channel brand that again, it might not be all coming from D2C, probably not. But that was something that really stuck out to me. Emails. I mean, this is very solid email marketing cadence, campaign calendars. I mean, just a solid, consistent 15 campaigns a month. And, when I look at the tech stack, I couldn't figure out if they're using SMS. I tried there was no SMS opt-in. And then when I went to the checkout, I'm not sure I got anything. Um, but they are using Klaviyo as their email marketing CRM. And when you look at the emails themselves, and I have them all kind of here, um, the first thing that starts out, we'll just start with May here. Really consistent design structure, very simple, very minimal, nothing too crazy going on. I love how they just sort of style the boxes around like whatever they're, this is like a chocolate one, so the box will be chocolate. During matcha, it's this. Um, this is chocolate matcha, so it's both. Um, they have, so they had like a navy collection, so everything was navy. So I do like when you look at it from like just a hierarchical point of view, an email design point of view, it's really not that complicated. It's just the same type of graphics. They just change the backgrounds. Same font style, same layout, mostly same footer every time. So very good email design system that allows them flexibility, but it doesn't look like it takes too long to deploy. When you get into the actual angles themselves, and we have, we talk about this. We call them angles at Flow Candy. I've heard some people call them hooks, but the different styles of emails that you can send. And again, this is not like a perfect system. I say this sometimes. I don't know. I've never worked with Chamberlain Coffee. I don't have access to their data. I don't know their open rates, their click-through rates, the amount of revenue they're driving from email or text or campaigns or flows. So what we tend to do to really benchmark them is we kind of break down the amount of angles they're seeing. And my experience is normally that the stores that are sending the most diversified types of angles tend to have pretty high, tend to benchmark pretty high. Or if you were to like open up their data, go and look at like audit their account, you would see they do pretty well from a revenue perspective. So, and when you look at their, when I score them, I got them at like a 16, and anything that I've ranked like over 20 is like world class. These are the people that you think are like the best in all of DTC. Anybody over 15 is really, really good. So this is a really well-run Klaviyo account, really well-run CRM program. And I just want to sort of break down some of the angles I saw so you can get some inspiration. So, the promos, this is like probably the most popular angle you see online. This is a promotional email, like buy this, get 15% off, buy one, get one free. This free mini SOS spray. This is what I would call a promotional email. Anything where it's like a promotion, And what I like about Chamberlain Coffee is they do a lot of these sort of free giveaway type promos. And it's not all just like get X% off. So they do a pretty good job mixing it up. Another thing they do well is that they come back to a lot is these mystery offers. So you'll see it's sort of like you got to click to reveal. And my experience with these mystery offers is they look kind of cheeky, but they tend to have a pretty high click-through rate. And they do a pretty effective job at driving traffic to the site other than just doing some promotion that has a lot of scarcity around it. So they definitely got points for that. They definitely got points that, they do a lot of these retail stores. And if you're an omni-channel brand, you really should be doing this, especially if you can attribute it back to, or you can show this, that you're doing this to, I know to various buyers and retail stores. So it's not just Target they're doing this. They have like I said, I think they're distributed in Sprouts, Erewhon, the big LA one, Costco, Walmart. I think they even got a deal with. So pretty well. You'll see they do this almost every month or every couple months. They'll do something like that. See what else we got. As you can see, we have, in March, here's another product email. They have another, another find and store email. But they also have these like product based. This is a pretty good product based email, so they definitely got points for that. Um, Product focused email, we call them. The whole email is about this particular product, the Fancy Moose Espresso Blend. They even have some social proof down here. So pretty good. Pretty good product focused email there. They did some collection focused ones. I would call this a collection focus, like a Navy collection. So getting points for that. Moving into February, I've been giving them points for these subscribe and save emails. If you're a subscription, you got to be doing, or if you offer a subscription, you got to be doing these, mixing these angles into your rotation. Just more and more emails around why you want to be a subscriber. It could be to anybody. It could be the prospects. It could be to people. I mean, the segmentation is important, but you could do this across the journey map. It doesn't just have to be to people that maybe have bought something or before, or maybe they churned. It could be to anybody, So, I'm a big fan of these, mixing these subscription-based emails in, and certainly mixing them in and deploying them to people who've placed an order twice but have never been on a subscription. We love those types of segments because those are the most, in my experience, the most responsive people to a subscription. I mean, they're the ones that have bought twice but have not onboarded into a subscription, so it would make sense. Again, that free promo, they come back to it, just another way, and it's just more value added too. You're getting this free strawberry thing instead of just, hey, here's 15% off that everybody else is doing. I know, let's see what else we got. So I gave them a point for text-based. This is pretty close. We're big fans of these. I mean, some people like over rely on these. Some people don't do them, but even big brands, I mean, they're just so easy. The reason I love text-based emails is because they're just easy to deploy. Like I can literally build this in, 20 minutes, even less. So from a production standpoint, I just love it. And two, they tend to render in the inbox sometimes better, not always. There is a debate, some people are like, oh, text-based emails always beat D2C style emails. I don't necessarily think that's true, but I do think that by mixing it up every once in a while, it's worth it. It's worth like deploying a text-based campaign here and there. It's certainly worth doing it on heavy promo periods too. Like one of my favorite things to do is send one of these out, letter from the CEO, letter from the founder, or just a last minute email like during like Black Friday, something that's text based. They got a lot of points for, they mix a lot of angles too. Like they'll mix, like this is a mystery box plus a subscription. This is a coming soon product launch, Sprouts, like retailer sort of email. So I thought that definitely getting points for that. Moving into some other stuff, I wanted to look at, if you go back to like what they did and again, it's just a very steady cadence. They're always sending 10, 15 emails out a month. They're not all promo. They mix and match everything. Like you just look at this, like only two emails where there's like some sort of 15%, 10% off in like the hero image of the emails. And, I'm used to auditing some brands where it's like 80% of their emails are that, 15% off, last chance to get 15% off. Now it's 20% off. And it's just like, sometimes like subscribers start to catch on, but this is like very, very well balanced, especially if you have a community like hers. Like she's really done a good job building this community. So you want to be nuanced with how you're you're sort of messaging them. But yeah, it's a very repeatable, like Freemason jar this month in April, then in May, there's a free tumbler, so like they can plan this out months in advance. It's really good. They even did some collabs. I thought this was a great collab. Was it in August? They did a collab with Base, which if you don't know Base is a popular luggage brand. But again, I'm huge fans of these JVs. These are so good because collaborations, joint venture, whatever you want to call it, because you can basically cross promote your brand with another brand that's sort of the same target market as yours, but isn't an adjacent category like Base. Base is very popular with Gen Z, millennial women. Sort of like away bags. It's very similar. It's in that category, but I would say more women focused and or female focused. And I just really, this is just, it's a great way to, I mean, you can set these joint ventures up or these cross promos for free, like Chamberlain coffee doesn't have to pay Base bags anymore. They're both cross promoting each other on their list. I haven't checked what Base was doing in August necessarily, but I guarantee you it was some sort of cross joint venture, cross collaboration. It's just a great way or a much cheaper way to sort of get your brand exposed without having to like rely on ads or something like that. So really like that. And then they also I think they did a loyalty email too here in June. I picked up on, let's see if I can find that one. Another text-based email here. 2 text-based emails, very simple to build. Yeah, here's the loyalty. So you can see how they're doing that too. So yeah, I mean, I benchmarked them really high. 3 text-based emails in one month. So you can see like they're not afraid to do this sort of stuff. And this is a very direct response. Very simple, but very direct response. Very clear what the offer is. Some scarcity with the ends tonight, the date. So yeah, I mean, it's a good job. It's a very well balanced CRM program, and that's why I scored them pretty high. So yeah, I had a pleasure doing this one. It's really well managed. But yeah, thanks again for watching. And again, all this stuff is for free. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can get the entire breakdown here. Just click on the link below in the description, and you'll be able to go to a post where we have all this sort of nicely laid out for you. You'll be able to get this, and you'll be able to get our benchmark of the brand as well too. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.